Bulavanaka, I'm Greg Clark. Welcome to another week of Drua Talk, where we focus on the swire-shipping Fijian Drua men in the Shop and Save Super Rugby Pacific, and also the Rooster Chicken Fijian Drua women when they start their defence in Super Rugby Women next month. Well, the season is underway for Mick Byrne's men. Not the start we're all hoping for in Whangarei, but it's early days and only 2 teams won away from home first up. Life can be tough on the road, and more on that shortly. Now, the Drua are away again this week because it's Super Round in Melbourne. They play the first of 7 home games next week, March 9 in Lautoka against the defending champs, the Crusaders. And the men will play 7 home games in the regular season, 5 in Lautoka and 2 in Suva. The women have 2 home games in March, both in Lautoka. So, Whangarei, it didn't go to plan last weekend because a very good Blues team were able to control territory and possession for long periods and ran out winners by 34 points to 10 over the Drua. But there were some promising signs from the Drua, so let's take a look.
Lomani spies a bit of space back and behind, hanging high in the sky over the 10. And some work to do for Sullivan. He's done well too to get the ball off to Rico Ioane. Christie looks away, open side. Angus Tabo, nice little short pass to Anton Segner, who was outstanding on the open side during pre-season in Japan for the Blues. Kick down the centre of the park, Pedro Feta. And running it back, the man on debut for the Drua this afternoon, Isikeli Rambitu, just 19 years of age. Armstrong-Ravula shifting along to Vonta. Of course, they lost Galaviti Ravovo to the Bristol Bears in the off-season. There's still so much talent in this Drua midfield, which Armstrong-Ravula will look to unlock, but he takes them on himself. Up toward the halfway line here. That's a good composed start from the Drua as they just take them on. Up the centre, Lomani. Wait for Armstrong-Ravula again. This is where they're so dangerous. Looking for the wide ball again. Momo is wrapped up. Good defence on him. Tutu and Clark. And once more they go, and the power once more of Davide Canaveri driving them up. 30 metres out. Armstrong-Ravula takes them on. A very good tackle on him by Joshua Fusitua.
No, it's not.
Sustained attack from Fijian Drua. Can they crack them? Ball away to the left for Silisitino Ravatomanda. Blues try and show him the far touch. Lomani again pops it up. Now Silla, former North Harbour man, lays it back for Lomani again. And they keep coming. 11 phases, make that 12 for the Drua. Papali'i told to leave by referee O'Keefe. Once more through Wonga, just slipping on the deck. Antonio Wonga inside the 22. They go through a Caniveri once more. Lomani. Excellent sustained pressure, but the Blues defence for the time being holding up. They go again. Musi shifting it on. Segner and Ioane going defensively once more. Nasilisila wants it. And the big man is cut down with low tackle. Papali'i on him. Once more, they bust through this time. Levi Natabe cut short of the 22 for the Drua. Armstrong-Ravula full of running. It is Drua debut. Canaveri shifts it on for Momo. 19 phases for the Drua. What a start this would be. The blue wall holding for the time being. Lomani shifts it on again. Now Silisila for another carry. They're Canaveri low. They load up once more. Lomani. Rotia Solia. And it's been lost forward. 23 phases for the Drua. As Sam Derry just hacks it as far as he can, but goodness me, what a start from the Drua.
Wow, how good was the discipline from both sides. Fijian Drua mounting a number of phases, but the blue wall, as Jeff mentioned, second in the competition for accuracy last season, the Blues, and they've finished off that set perfectly with a turnover just in this tackle there.
This is where they're so good. Fijian Drua, Rotua Solia, trying to drive through it, Banako Vata. under the feet of Dongi. Shifting it away. They come again. The ball is down. The try is scored. That is their big lock forward. Leonel to the loose ball with the Fijian Drua. It's playing advantage, Ben O'Keefe's. Vata storms inside the 22. The ball is loose and with the Blues. But a near thing again. Dongi taken by his opposite, Mangus Ta'abal. Lomani has a wee snipe himself. Segner's over the ball. The cleaners arrive quickly. Momo has a go himself for Pele Momo. Brought down by Duck. Down on the halfway line. Sam Derry again just menacing around the breakdown, looking to get his hands on the ball. Armstrong-Ravula. Navota shifting it on. There's a good run from Momo. He might go himself. Oh, he just finds Adrian Choate running the line on his shoulder. As AJ Lamb will take off. Now Clark.
Need to close that points differential.
Good space.
Dominated that last scrum. So look for the Blues to put the pressure back on.
Coach! Bind! Sit!
Drua takes something away from Whangarei. Perhaps another try. Little kick coming through. That's right there. Oh, Talia picks it up. He was scooting through Valentini. Tried to scoop the ball up, but Mark Talia has it back for the Blues. Lovely work on the kick. Armstrong-Ravula. Again, as we enter the final minute, the exit from Sullivan and the Drua. Perhaps the last attacking set piece of the game.
This is just unlucky. He was hitting a try all day long, but just not their day. You have to love the effort. You just saw Wanga, the blindside flanker, put pressure on Zahn Sullivan, close the angle, this kick down.
Hold up!
Excellent work in the air, Lachlan McQuannell. On debut, 4 appearances for the Chiefs last season. What a game Hoskins took to his head.
Leave it, hands on the ground.
His designs on bigger things this year, as will the Blues. Into touch it goes. And the perfect start to season 2024 in front of a great crowd here in Whangarei.
Plenty of missed opportunities by the Drua, and let's check all the scores from week 1. The Chiefs beat the Crusaders in the Kiwi blockbuster in Hamilton. The Brumbies were too good for the Rebels in Melbourne. The Hurricanes also had a win on the road against the Force in Perth. The Blues over the Drua in Whangarei, and the Highlanders held out a spirited Moana Pasifika in Dunedin. And in the All-Aussie affair in Brisbane, the Reds were impressive in their 40-22 victory over the Waratahs. You're watching Drua Talk. Thanks for joining us. The Drua take on Moana Pasifika as part of the Super Round in Melbourne on Saturday at 6 p.m. Fiji time. It's time for our weekly chat with the Drua head coach, Mick Byrne. Mick, not the result you were hoping for in Whangarei. What came out of your review?
Well, Clarkie, it wasn't the result we're after, but I think some pleasing aspects of the game. I think our first carries, first play with the ball, 23 phases. It's what we've been working on pre-season, is to hang on the ball. And as everyone knows, we've been a side that in the first year, I don't think we got more than 4 phases, and then this year we came out and held onto the ball for 23 phases and lost it over the line basically. But then didn't touch the ball again for 18 minutes, and gave away 8 penalties. So we were as good in the first 3 minutes as we were bad in the next 18. We let ourselves down there, and I think what's come out of the review is that, you know, we talked about discipline last week, and we had 8 penalties by the 20-minute mark. So, you know, that's a fail, and so we need to work through that. But also, when we had the ball, we were asking questions. I feel that was a good start for us, and we can build off that.
The Blues scored 6 tries to 1, but the Drua had plenty of line breaks. The lack of patience and execution proving to be very costly again?
Yeah, I think we had a couple of plays where we got line breaks, and then in usual fashion we threw some sort of offload over. I think our players are still understanding that you know, Super Rugby is a tough competition, and when you play one of the better teams like the Blues and you make a line break, they work extremely hard to come back in numbers, and they flood the area. So you know, sometimes when we take a line break, we just got to understand that let's take that win, secure the ball up, get over the top of it, secure the ball up, and go to where their defenders aren't. Because sometimes on line breaks, or most times on line breaks, a ball can be like a magnet for defenders, and our players are just starting to realise those things as we get going. And instinctively, we still want to keep playing, but we did make line breaks. We did get behind them on occasions, and when we didn't finish, that's a big learning for us.
Now, the penalty count might have evened up in the second half, but the penalties conceded by the Drua in that first 20 or so minutes didn't help the cause, did they? Is better discipline one of the work-ons this week?
Yeah, I think better discipline's a work-on all the time. We certainly set our sights on being a more disciplined team this year, and as I said before, my count was we had 7 penalties and 1 free kick in the first 20 minutes. So after our foray into the first 23 phases, we gave away a penalty, went to a line out, gave away a free kick, went to a scrum, gave away a penalty, went to a line out, gave away a penalty at the ruck, went to a line out, went to a maul, went to a try. That's a discipline after such a great start. So yeah, we've identified that area before the season, and we're really disappointed with that 20 minutes of football. It's not good enough for us. We know that, and it's been a big focus for us this week.
Well, overall, did the positives outweigh the negatives in Game 1?
I don't think enough positives are there to outweigh the negative of a loss, but there were some good positives there. And a couple of things. I think physically we played a game that we've been trying to play, and as I said, you know, that between the 4th minute and the 22nd minute, we didn't have the ball really, and that was tough. But one of the other sides, the mental side, is at half time when we came in at 29-3 down, especially that last try before half time was a bit of a, you know, caught us out. The clock said 39:42, and then it just dropped back to 39:16. And that happens, you know, like there's nothing untoward about that. Sometimes the timekeepers just make an adjustment based on the ref. We learned a valuable lesson there. It's probably the refs. We need to speak to the ref about time. But when we got that kick, it was 39:42, and then all of a sudden we got another minute of footy to play, and we didn't handle that well. And so we came in at 29-3 down after that little hiccup just before half time that could have upset us and derailed us a little bit. But we came in, we regrouped, and we came out, and we won the second half. For whatever that's worth, the Blues probably felt they'd won the game, and maybe they got comfortable, I don't know. But we came back out and played. That was a positive for us, you know, 29-3 down away against the Blues after the big travel day we had before. There's a lot of potential excuses, and we'd never make excuses, but there's potential reasons why we may have been at a point, but we didn't. We fought that out, and that, for me, that was a real positive, and it augurs well for us going into this year.
The Drua had 4 players on debut mix. Do you think they handled the occasion? It was a big step up against a quality team like the Blues.
Well, I think one of the standards we set for our debutants is just to go out there and be themselves and play their game. We don't need them to be superstars on the day. We don't need them to do anything more than they're capable of doing. And I thought they all did that. I thought they all went out there, they handled the day well. They're young there's a couple of young guys there that would still go away with our 20s at the end of the year if they weren't playing with us. So, they are young players, and I thought they handled themselves well. They got their jobs done, and I think they'll be pleased to have got their debut out of the way, and we're really happy that they handled it well, and we're looking forward to them having a very successful time with the Drua.
Well, now you face Moana Pasifika on Saturday in the Super Round in Melbourne. You've had some great battles with Moana. You'd be expecting more of the same this time, no doubt.
Absolutely. Battle of the Pacific, we know it is. There's a lot on the line when these two teams come together. As we said when it first started, it's gone from Super Rugby to Super Rugby Pacific because of these two teams. So we'll go out there and we'll be doing our part of the Pacific region proud, and we'll be doing everything we can to win that game. But I think they'll be doing everything they can, and there's always it's always a physical clash. We expect some big hits, and we expect some exciting play. And Pacific Rugby will be on display in Melbourne on Saturday afternoon. We're looking forward to it.
Thanks again for your time, Mick, and all the very best in the Super Round in Melbourne.
Thanks, Clarkie.
Don't miss the Week 2 encounter on Saturday evening against Moana. Kickoff is 6 p.m. Fiji time. Well, now it's time to check in with Moana, and playmaker Christian Leali'ifano has been kind enough to give us some time this week. Christian, thanks very much for joining us. The match against the Highlanders in Dunedin was a lot closer than the 35-21 scoreline indicated, even though you didn't make it onto the field for Week 1. What were some of the positives and the negatives, in your opinion?
Yeah, the performance in round 1 against the Highlanders was a close one, and a really strong performance from our group, I thought. Some of the positives I liked was our set piece was really, really strong. And just seeing our shape and the things that we've worked on over the pre-season come to life a little bit and be put under a little bit of pressure. I guess the improvements for us would be just some small moments in the game at crucial times, obviously when we're attacking inside their 22 and just trying to come away with points.
The new season, new head coach, so has Tana and his assistants tried to change a lot of things since taking over, or have they just made a few tweaks?
Yeah, having Tana and the new management in has been awesome. We've really enjoyed the flavour he's brought into with his team. He hasn't probably changed a whole lot. He's just brought, I guess, his level of high performance and standards to help us every day. He's implemented a fantastic rugby program that's helping us get better on the field as well, and then balancing that up with a lot of our culture aspects.
Well, you're still looking for your first win against the Drua. What are you expecting from the Fijian lads this time?
Yeah, looking forward to our game with the Drua. They've had the wood on us for the last few rounds, so always going to be a tough game against them. They're a physical team who like to have a bit of space and time with the ball. So I guess we'll try and limit as much as we can. It's a difficult task. We know we're up against it, but we're just focusing on a lot of our game and making sure we can right some wrongs from the week before against the Highlanders. So we'll have a nice plan to go out there and have to try and execute to give us a good game.
Moana versus Drua. It's already a great rivalry. Are you looking forward to another battle against your Pacific brothers?
Absolutely. I think every time you see Super Rugby Pacific, you think of the Drua and Moana, and we're just so grateful to be involved in Super Rugby at the moment. And we just want to put on a really strong performance to showcase our Pasifika flair and our level of rugby to just really entertain a lot of the people that support our game and Super Rugby.
Well, Christian, good to see you back, and we're looking forward to another great matchup on Saturday. Thanks very much for your time, mate. The Moana and Drua clash is one of 6 games in Melbourne during Super Round this weekend. Yes, all 6 games, all at the same venue, Amy Park in Melbourne. On Friday, it's the Highlanders versus the Blues at 7 p.m. Fiji time, followed by the Rebels and the Force. On Saturday, Moana versus Drua, 6 p.m. Fiji, and then it's the Crusaders against the Waratahs. And on Sunday, it's the Chiefs up against the Brumbies from 3 p.m. Fiji, and it all wraps up with the Hurricanes taking on the Reds. Let's hope Super Round is a huge success in its 3rd year. On Drua Talk, it's time to see who's in Clarkys Corner. Thanks for joining us for another week of Drua Talk. Okay, this week it's young rookie Armstrong-Ravula in Clarkys Corner. Let's hear what he had to say about his starting debut for the Drua in Whangarei.
Thanks, Clarkie. It was really tough. Obviously, I played in the NPC, but it's a whole nother level. It's really fast, really physical, it was good fun to get out there. Play with the boys, and obviously to play in the Super Rugby is, it was a dream come true. Just had heaps of fun. It was obviously a big goal of mine when I signed here. But I trained hard in the pre-season. Been learning heaps off the boys, really stoked to get my debut, obviously, and to start as well was another dream come true. I've learned a lot. Obviously, learning heaps on the field, but also off the field with recovery, nutrition. Dealing with the heat here in Fiji. I'd say the off-field stuff. Dealing with the media and stuff like that. It's been hard, but it's been good fun, and I've learned a lot. Really, I'd say my dad did a lot. Ever since me and my brother could walk, he taught us how to pass, how to kick. I remember when we were still in primary school, we'd wake up early, watch the rugby. He'd pause the game and we'd do our own little film sessions. My dad has obviously played a big influence in my rugby career and life in general.
A fine young talent, Armstrong-Ravula, and he'll only get better as the weeks roll on. As well as Clarkys Corner each week, we'll also showcase the Drua, and we're going to play the try of the week. An easy one to choose this week. It was the only 5-pointer for the Drua against the Blues, and it was Leone Rotui-Soluia who scored the first 5-pointer of the season.
This is where they're so good. Fijian Drua, Rotui-Soluia trying to drive through Whanako Vata. They're under the feet of Dongi, shifting it away. They come again, the ball is down, the try is scored. And it's that big lock forward, Leone Rotui-Soluia, who scores it.
A little bit of attitude makes a big difference, and that's exactly what...
Our try of the week, and I think we can look forward to more than one against Moana this Saturday. Well, it was a big announcement at Parliament House in Canberra on Tuesday. The Australian Government and Rugby Australia launched Phase 2 of the Pacific Oz Sport Partnership. It's a partnership that will benefit both the Drua men and women, as well as other Fiji representative and pathways teams. The day started with politicians and players engaging in a game of try-tag rugby. Wallaby great Senator David Pocock still looks in great shape, while the Australian Minister for the Pacific, Pat Conroy, he was in a very competitive mood, really getting amongst it all. Mr. Conroy is a huge supporter of the Pacific Oz Sport Partnership and what it does for Fiji and the Pacific region.
Absolutely. Well, sport brings the Pacific together, and there's no greater exhibit of that than the love of rugby union. Wherever I travel around the Pacific, whether it's Samoa or Fiji or Tonga, there's a great love for rugby union, and so it's a great day for us to be announcing the continuation of the partnership between the Australian Government and Rugby Australia to support Pacific rugby. I'm proud that we sponsored the Samoan team in the Rugby World Cup, that's Pacific Oz Sport. I'm proud that we're the major sponsor for the Fiji Drua and the Fiji women's teams. That brings the whole region together.
How much enjoyment do you get out of seeing not only the Fijian women Drua win back-to-back, but also the men getting into the playoffs for the first time in just their second year last year?
Absolutely, it's great, and I gee up my New Zealand colleagues because the drill, which is being supported by Australia, is going really well. I think people are still landing on the model for Moana Pasifika, but they'll get there as well. I think it's really important that they're competitive. And it's not just those two teams. I think more than 50% of players, rugby players at elite level in Australia are of Pacifica heritage. And that really brings that diaspora together. And it's a great, the great ambassadors for both Australia and the countries their families originally came from.
You're going to be watching the Waratahs play the Drua in Lautoka in March as well. Who are you supporting?
Prime Minister Rambuka has invited me over, so I'm hoping to get over there, not sure yet, and I will be going for the Drua. I'll let you into a little secret. I'm a Brumbies fan. I just was inspired by when they came into the comp and the spirit they played in. So, quite frankly, unless New South Wales are playing Queensland, I'm going for their opponents.
Okay, thanks for everything you're doing. Thank you.
Thanks, Rickers.
Let's hope Minister Conroy can make it to Lautoka for the doubleheader, the Drua men and women playing the Waratahs in week 4. And that's about it for another week of Drua Talk. We'll be back again next week and every week during the season. All the best to the Fijian Drua and the Battle of the Pacific against Moana Pasifika on Saturday, 6 p.m. Fiji time. Thanks for your company. I'm Greg Clark. Have a great week, and we'll leave you with a look at the Swire Shipping Fijian Drua team to take the field this week. Mode.